you believe it, guys? The Starkiller rush is back. I am no longer a Sogo streamer. I now whisper for a living. Alright guys, we are on a new account again. Can you believe this, guys? And yes, you are not being fooled. Starkiller rush is back. So I wanted to prove a point that you can most likely do 2 challenge tier 1s by farming Phoenix early. And I've been wanting to start up the Starkiller rush again because I really did enjoy it in the first time round. It's just we had a few time issues and we couldn't commit to it, but I've kind of sorted out and I think we can follow through. So we're going to start it back up, guys, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the plan for the account. So we are going to be going with Phoenix first. We're going to be going for Hera, Chopper, Sabine, Kanan, and then we're going to be finalizing it with Captain Rex. Now, Captain Rex, unfortunately, is on single drops, but he's also an early node, so it's like the best of both worlds. We can kind of get him done. Sabine's on an early node, Hera's on the same node as her ship. So there's 3 hard nodes to do. Thankfully, if you start the game now, within the next 20 days, that is the time left on the timer, you are going to be given 5-star Phoenix, guys, and all of them with the exception of Rex. But if you start now, you also get Rex 3 stars because of the Marquee event. So it's really, really nice to getting up and running. So we're going to do that, and if I had to guess the length, the time, we're probably looking at like a month. We're probably looking at like a month to get Rex done, Hera done, and Sabine done, because we're going to be refreshing Rex in extra time. And bearing in mind it's going to take me 3 months just to get to level 85, I'm pretty okay with that. So the sooner we can get them all done, the better. Now, in terms of gear level, they are going to gear 7, no higher. Because, guys, I want to see the lowest possible gear to be able to do this top battle. We will be giving Rex his Zeta on Lost Commander, because the Zeta is the following. Minus 20% damage penalty, plus 25 speed. Whenever a clone trooper falls below 50% health, they recover 35% protection and health, and gain 50% defense and tenacity up. Whenever a clone trooper or Phoenix is inflicted with a debuff, Rex gains turn meter, and obviously this translates to the rest of the team. So for the challenge tier, of the assault battles, you're going to be gaining a lot of turn meter, you're going to be able to take more turns, you get that survivability. So I think that's going to be very important. Now, in terms of the rest of the Phoenix team, I'm not even considering the Zetas. I mean, we'll probably end up saving them, because it's like, there may be a trade-off. Maybe if you apply Kanan or Hera at the expense of low gear, I think that may be worth it, but we'll get around to that when it comes. So that's what we're doing with Phoenix. Now, guys, we are going to be following my farming path, which you guys can go watch that video, link in the comments. So we are going to be going for Starkiller initially. So teams that are of high value to us, guys, we are going to be going for teams such as Dash. He is a Cantina farm. It's very important that we unlock that as soon as possible. So we're going to be going for Dash. We are going to be changing the team up a little bit from last time we did it. Now I know, because remember, guys, when Dash first came out and we started the initial Starkiller farming plan, we didn't know for sure the best teams for everything. But now I'm pretty certain I know. So we're going to be doing Dash. We are going to do Young Han. We are going to do Vandor Chewie. We are then going to throw in IG-11. And then we're going to throw in Quill. And this is like an insanely good farm early on, guys. Because what's going to happen is IG and Quill together is also going to give you the TIE Bomber. And it's also going to give you Grief. So you're going to get 2 extra farms done by doing these characters early. So we're going to do them now and try and get them finished pre-level 85. And I think that's going to benefit us the most here, guys. So we're going to have Quill in here as well. Give me a second, guys. I can't find him in the game right now. Man, where is Quill? So yeah, guys, we're going to be using Dash, Young Han, Vandor, Chewie, IG, and Quill. Now, Dash will be the first Omicron, like the original plan. I really like Dash Omicron when you have Young Han and Vandor in there because of the constant the constant buffs there. Like before, Vandor will be probably one of the first relics. He's going to be one of the first Zetas. Young Han is going to go to Gear 12. Dash will obviously go to Relic for the team. Because of Datacrons and because of how good this does perform in 3v3 Grand Arena, there is the possibility of taking at least the main trio to Relic but that's kind of later on down the plan. We'll get to that in the coming weeks. So that's the first team we're going to be building. Now guys, the second team we're actually going to be building may surprise you because it's not the same as what we did before. Can you believe that, guys? We have changed things up. New characters come out, and it's interesting to try new things. So the next character on the Starkiller plan is obviously Mara Jade. So guys, we're going to be running Palpatine, Mara Jade, and then we're going to run Thrawn, who will be 7-star, and then we are also going to be running none other than Vader. And this is our next team for the list. Thankfully, they're all going to be 7-star. Mara Jade will go to Relic. The rest will kind of go to Gear 12. Vader will most likely go to Relic. That's the second team we're going to be farming. Then the third team we're going to be farming here, guys, is going to be the following. We need to get Talon up and running, unfortunately, for this to work. We need Talon for Starkiller. She's not a bad character, but we really need to work out a way around this. So what I'm considering doing here, guys, is we could either go one of two ways, and this is where I'm a little bit undecided, and we'll kind of finalize this when we get to farming her. We are either going to do Treya, and then we'll do Treya with Talon, or we're going to skip Treya and we're going to farm Darth Revan. I'm just not sure which one we do, because we're going to do one of the two. Because we could do DR with Talon, or we could do Treya with Talon. Now, here's the reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to do Treya. The guild I'm in, I got into it thanks to a subscriber. We did it on stream, it was amazing. The only criticism I have is they're not doing the Sith raid at all. So I have to buy the shards with the currency for Treya. And we worked out the other day, yeah, it's not that bad when you work it out. It takes like 2 weeks. But it's going to take me 2 weeks to do Treya's shards, 2 weeks to do Han's shards, and then it's going to take me 2 weeks to do General Kenobi shards. Which means that in total, guys, is 6 weeks. 6 weeks is just over a month. That's a lot of gear we could be hoarding for when we get to level 85. And we could, like, the thing I'm thinking of here, guys, is when I get to level 85, I need to go bang, 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 loads of gear 12s, maybe a couple of relics that we save, and then we are laughing. And that's kind of what I would rather do. So I don't know if Treya is going to be that early game character. Whereas if we go for Darth Revan, guys, it isn't out of the question. It's not too hard to farm. And the other benefit here, guys, is it would give us Juhani. And Juhani would fill that Jedi requirement for my Starkiller team to come. So that is kind of why I'm down the line of maybe going for Darth Revan. Guys, if we look at the Darth Revan event, I've got it up on the screen for me anyway, I don't know if you guys can see. We'll see if the power of editing can show you that. But Darth Revan is going to require the following characters. Cuff, Canderous, Bastila, and then we have Juhani and HK. Not too bad, and we can do this with pretty low gear. Obviously, it's a few annoying farms. Canderous is a Cantina, Bastila, I think, is a hard node, Juhani as well. Like, it will take a while to do, but it's low gear viable, and it gives us a decent team. Talon goes into that team. Then we take it to the next level, and we may even do Jedi Knight Revan and Malik. I feel like that would be really worth adding in here. But again, I don't know if we do Treya or I don't know if we do DR, but we need to do something to give Talon a home. So then when we got Talon, guys, this is where I'm kind of a little bit mixed. So before, you guys remember, we actually did Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma is needed for a lot of stuff in this game. So there is the potential of doing that. The other thing is Kyle is a rebel fighter. But we have another option here, guys, which I kind of think may perform better. So here's the thing, guys, we don't have to rely on Mothma to do any challenge tier 1s on this account, because that's the original plan, because we're doing Phoenix, and that should cover that, because they're doing 2 assault battles. So that does mean we're open to experimenting, and I'm kind of debating doing Saw with Kyle, and then we'll do Biggs, and then we'll put in possibly Wedge, and then we'll finalize it with someone else there. And before anyone wonders why we would do this, there is a reason, guys. So if you remember, we're going to be farming Vandor Chewie early on in the account. And Vandor Chewie is on the same node as Tarful. So do you get where I'm going with this, guys? We may just follow it through and come out the other end with Tarful done. And then if we do Saw on the side, we then have 2 out of 5 for the Jedi Knight Cal event. And like I said, guys, I'm debating doing Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan. If we can get both of those done, and then we complement it with a Jedi Knight Cal, that's the same value as Starkiller here, guys, because that's a GL killer. So that is why I'm kind of leaning towards that. Slightly different. I still think we're going to go Starkiller first. But we would come out of this, guys, with a Dash team, a Starkiller team, which then converts into Thrawn Vader, which is really interesting. We would then come out of this with a Darth Revan team. We would then come out of this with a Saw Rebel Fighter team. And then we would finalize it with the Night Sister team, which would be the last team we farm here, which is a pretty simple and easy to do farm. And we come out of this, guys, with some Night Sisters. And that does not look too bad, guys. And then not to mention, we'd also come out of this with an unaligned Force User team, which, here's the thing, guys, I haven't even spoken about fleets yet. We are going to be covering a little bit about fleets. So we're going to come out of this with Seer, Cal. We're then going to have Fulcrum, who's 7-star, given to us for free, Crew, and then we have one spot open to whoever we want, guys. This is insanely good. Insanely good. Crew is going to gear 12 for fleets. Fleets are so important for Zeta mats. So having Crew at gear 12 means he slots into our Seer team. I don't want to farm first order on this account, guys. At least not initially. So there is going to be a reason to invest in Crew anyway. So that means we come out of this with some really, really strong teams. Now, some of you will be saying, hey, but Glurmit, what about fleets? Let me just stop you there and explain what's going to happen there, guys. I'm pretty sure the first fleet we're going to go for is going to be the Executor. Because we're going to have IG 7-star, we're going to have Quill 7-star, we're going to have Grief 7-star, meaning we only have to farm Cara Dune, and we only have to farm Mando, which means we have Beskar Mando done, right? Then Cara Dune slots onto our Saw team, because she's a Rebel Fighter, there's some synergy there, so she could be the 5th if we want to go down that route. And then we've already farmed the Bomber because we're doing Quill early, so that's going to really bump in and boost our Empire fleet. I just think it makes a lot of sense here, guys. I think it makes a lot of sense to go Exec as the first fleet. So if we can come out of this and we can get to, I don't know, 2.5 million GP, because we're going to keep this account quite lean. And if we come out of this with a Dash team, a Palp Mara team, which converts into Starkiller, a Darth Revan team, a Jedi Knight Revan team, potentially Malik, Night Sisters, unaligned Force Users, and then Exec on top of that, I feel like that's a really, really nice account. And the best thing about this, guys, is having Starkiller and having Jedi Knight Cal gives me that flex. No matter what my opponent sets in the early game, I'm going to clear them, GL or not. So statistically, if we look at the data here, guys, Jedi Knight Cal, if you have him on offense, and we will look at Kyber stats, but obviously you have to take into account we're not using that. We would be using Jedi Knight Revan lead, with Bastard would be in the team, Jolie would be in the team, and then we would have we could probably do Hermit Yoda in there as well, and then we could finish it off with Cal. So this can beat Malgus, this can beat Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, this can beat Zori teams. This is not a bad team to be having. So I kind of feel like this is what we may do, guys, because we come out of this. I mean, it also beats General Skull, because it's absolutely crazy. It really is. And this is what I'm trying to say, guys. In terms of low gear viability, it's going to work. As long as we have good enough mods, I can see this working 100%. So like I said, guys, we're going to come out of this with Starkiller. He's going to be beating C, SLKR, some Jabba teams, and a lot more stuff. Then we're going to come out of this with Night Sisters, who are also going to be beating a lot of stuff. Dash, which can beat a lot of stuff, which is also a flex team for defense as well. And then we come out of this with Darth Revan, we come out of this with all the others. Now, in terms of the Omicrons, guys, they are obviously going to be very important. So I'm going to quickly bring them up for you guys to have a look. So if we have a look at the Omicrons, guys, these are the following ones that I'm thinking of applying. Because the thing is, we have to factor in it's going to take us around about 1 to 2 months per Omicron. So we're looking at like 6 for the next year. If we look at maybe getting 2 post level 85. I think that's reasonable. So these are the Omicrons which are on my radar. The first one, obviously, guys, is going to be Dash. I think Dash is a must-have Omicron if you're going to do Starkiller Rush, because it just makes so much sense, guys. If you're going to do Vandal, you do Dash. It's going to make that team a little bit better. The second Omicron that I've been thinking of doing is actually going to be Seer's Omicron. If we're going to do the whole unaligned force user thing, why wouldn't we apply Seer Omicron? It then goes on defense. It's our defensive team for a long time. Then, guys, the way we're going to do this is we're going to do 3 Grand Arena Omicrons for every 1 TW. So the next Omicron is going to be Merin. At least that's the plan. But we can interchange any of these with Starkiller's unique. The second we get Starkiller, his unique is applied, but obviously these are the Omicrons which I've picked out for us. Now the next one we're going to be applying is actually going to be Jahani. Guys, that is going to be the next one on the list. So basically the idea, guys, is we come out of this with 4 good Grand Arena Omicrons and 1 on Jahani, which is our TW1, and it makes our guild happy. So if we do all of this, I feel like we have a very good backbone to the account. So we have Seer Omicron, Dash Omicron, Merin Omicron, Starkiller Omicron, and Jahani. Those are the ones I'm planning on doing. I feel like that's pretty nice. And then maybe down the line we do Jedi Knight Cows. I don't know if we would until we start relicking teams more for Rote, otherwise I don't really think it's worth it. Now in terms of the Zetas, guys, there are quite a few that we're going to be applying. So the first one is obviously going to be Vader. So I'm between 1 or 2 Zetas as my first on this account. It's going to be Vader or it's going to be Vandal. Vandal will only do if Dash has his Omicron. If Dash does not have his Omicron by the time we hit level 85 or whenever we get the first Zeta, then it's going to be Vader's Merciless Massacre. It's going to be one of those 2. Now in terms of the next Zetas that we're going to be applying, Captain Rex does deserve the unique. I think that is 100% worth it. And then Merin also deserves some, but these are really, I don't want to go too far into Zetas, but these are the first 3 I'm going to recommend. Darth Vader, Vandal, Captain Rex. If we do these 3 and we work on these Omicrons, we are looking pretty good. Now in terms of the gear levels for the teams that we mentioned, and I'm going to wrap this up soon, guys, because the video has been going on quite a while here. So the Dash team, like I said, guys, Relic Dash, Relic Vandal, IG Krill gear 12 is fine. Younger Han, I will probably gear 12 him, or relic him even, just because then it does open up a really strong team on freeze. Palpatine, Mara Jade, Thrawn, and Vader. Palpatine will stay at gear 12, Mara Jade will go to Relic, Vader will go to Relic, Thrawn will stay at gear 12. Darth Revan and friends will probably Relic DR, Relic Bastila, everyone else is going to stay at gear 12. The Saw team, everyone at gear 12 with the exception of Kyle. The Night Sister team, everyone at gear 12 with the exception of Daka. There is a potential possibility, guys, that we do Relic Asajj, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think it's just going to be everyone gear 12 and then we just take Daka to Relic. And then the Seer team, guys, everyone gear 12 with the exception of either Fulcrum or Crew, who will go to Relic. Because Fulcrum, that opens up the possibility of a TW Omicron, so we can beat some other teams, and Crew because it does help the ship. We can use that in a random fleet, and also he's just a very tanky character. So that's kind of what we're looking at. That's the initial plans. But guys, it's back. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to let me know down in the comments, guys. Is there anything that you've done on your account that you're proud of this week? My name is Glurmit, and as always, guys, have a Glurmin day.